Team USA practice just wrapped up at Duke University, and everyone wanted to know one thing. How does Caitlin Clark look after months away from basketball? Paige Bueckers, Sabrina Ionescu, Sue Bird, and head coach Cheryl Reeve all shared their assessments. The consistency in their comments was remarkable. Every single person mentioned the exact same thing about Clark's return to the court. What they revealed could change everything about expectations.
In the same manner that she, has since she was, whether we were on the U16 team together, U19 team together, whether it was me watching her in AAU, she's always just been smooth. She takes what the game gives her. Her midi has always been as nice as it's been this year. She's just she just plays way older than she is. She's confident, she's smooth, she just does everything at a high level, can score from all three levels, and that's how she's always played, and that's obviously translated really well. So, and everybody knew that it would. But yeah, I think it's just that her ability to just be smooth and go with what the game's going to give her. She's never going to force anything. I think it's always been that, and she's just continued to stay true to that.
Yeah, it's fun. Anytime we can compete against each other. We're two competitors who just want to win, who have grown up to be playing against each other, playing with each other. So it's great, and the environment's great here. I feel like every game is a sellout, and so they have a great home court advantage. So overall, yeah.
Do you think Caitlin Clark is ready to dominate at the international level, or does she need more time to adjust to FIBA rules? Drop your prediction in the comments. The Team USA training camp at Duke University became the center of the basketball world for one primary reason. Caitlin Clark was back on the court after months away recovering from injury. Everyone wanted to see if she still looked like the player who transformed women's basketball. The commentary from those who watched her practice revealed something significant. There was complete consistency in what everyone said, regardless of who was speaking or which specific aspect of her game they discussed.
She can just pick the game apart in any which way she decides. I just think she's smooth in everything that she does. She's, efficient. She just reads the game extremely well at all levels. She can shoot it, she can score in the mid-range, she can get to the basket. She's a three-level scorer. So I think that's what makes it so tough, is there's just so many.
The consistent theme? Caitlin Clark looked like herself. She looked like she was back. That simple assessment carried enormous weight because it came from every trained eye in the building. Sabrina Ionescu, who has competed against Clark and understands elite basketball at the highest level, offered one of the most detailed breakdowns of what she observed. Ionescu explained that she was extremely impressed with Clark, noting how engaged she remained while away and how quickly she returned to playing at such a high level. The practice structure had Team USA players competing against each other, as well as going up against scout teams made up of players from small colleges across North Carolina who were assisting with preparations. This setup gave Clark the chance to face a variety of playing styles and intensities.
Obviously, we're good friends. I've been able to talk to her a lot kind of through this, process. And honestly, I've kind of went through something similar in my career. My first year I didn't play due to injury, and then second year I had 3 to 4 soft tissue injuries that I was dealing with. And it's kind of, you look back and it's a blessing in disguise because you're able to just learn and grow and, understand it's all part of your journey, and you just got to, continue to figure out what you need in a pro career. And so, just trying to be that kind of soundboard for her and that voice, having gone through something kind of similar, and, knowing obviously it's really unfortunate that we don't have her, but, she means a lot more to the game than just showing up and playing. And I think you're able to see that with just the excitement in Indy right now, regardless of if she's playing or not.
Ionescu's assessment was direct. Clark looked like herself. The step-back three was there. The passes were there. These are the signature elements of Clark's game, the things that make her special. The fact that both showed up immediately after such a long layoff speaks volumes about how much work she put in during recovery and how quickly elite athletes can regain their rhythm. But Ionescu also noted something interesting about the adjustment period. Clark wasn't playing with Aaliyah Boston, her Indiana Fever teammate, who understands her passing tendencies intimately. Some of the bigs on the Team USA roster didn't know what to do with Clark's passes. Ionescu specifically mentioned one play where Clark threw a pass to Digitsa Hamby, and Hamby brought the ball down instead of keeping it up and finishing immediately. That moment perfectly illustrates the adjustment teammates need to make when playing with Clark. She sees plays before they develop and makes passes that most players wouldn't even attempt. Her teammates need to be ready for passes that arrive in unexpected ways at unexpected times. Ionescu credited Clark's soccer background for her court vision. She's trained to see the whole field and anticipate movement patterns. Video footage from practice confirmed exactly what Ionescu described. Ball movement at the top of the key, Clark receives the ball, makes one pass, gets it back, and then fires an incredible post-entry pass to Hamby. It's the kind of pass only Clark would even see as an option. Hamby, not expecting it, brings the ball down for a dribble, gets blocked, and the ball goes the other way. That's not a criticism of Hamby. It's evidence that playing with Clark requires adjustment, even for veteran WNBA players. Ionescu also pointed out that FIBA basketball is naturally more physical than other levels, even more physical than the WNBA. Watching Clark go against scout team players who were instructed to play at FIBA level intensity was interesting, considering how long she'd been out and the fact that she was still ramping up from injury. Despite those factors, Ionescu's verdict was clear. Clark looked good, and crucially, she looked happy to be there. That happiness matters more than people might realize. Clark has faced enormous pressure, constant scrutiny, and the weight of expectations that would crush most players. Seeing her genuinely happy to be back with elite competition suggests her mental state is exactly where it needs to be for this next chapter. Annie Costabile, another reporter covering the camp, echoed the same themes. She noted this was the first time everyone had seen Clark operating at 100% since her injury. Clark herself admitted that even though she felt like she was at 100%, there was still rust she needed to shake off. That self-awareness is important. She's acknowledging the reality while feeling confident in her recovery. Costabile's lead observation was that Clark's signature shot was still there. That's the most important thing for any shooter returning from injury. If the shot feels off or mechanics are different, that's a red flag. But Clark's shooting looked exactly like what everyone is familiar with: pure, smooth, and effortless from deep range. Costabile also noted that Clark's speed was coming back, which stood out during practice. Speed and burst are often the last things to return after injury layoffs. The fact that observers could already see Clark's speed returning is a positive sign for her conditioning and recovery timeline. Her timing on passes remained impressive, connecting back to Ionescu's observations about teammates needing to adjust to her vision. Then there's the assessment from Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of Team USA and a veteran WNBA coach who's seen every elite player in women's basketball. Reeve was asked what she saw from Clark after just one day of practice. This was Reeve's first time coaching Clark or spending any time with her directly, so her perspective offers a fresh, outside evaluation. Reeve called Clark a terrific player who was really locked in and focused. That focus is what separates good players from great ones at this level. With all the attention and pressure surrounding her return, Clark could have been distracted or tight. Instead, she was locked in on basketball. Reeve shared an interesting conversation she had with Clark before practice. She told Clark that this would be one of the most fun experiences she's had because everyone at this level loves the game intensely. As you progress through basketball levels, you find more people who share that obsessive love for the game. In high school, not everyone loves basketball like elite players do. In college, the percentage increases, but you still have teammates with different priorities. At the Team USA level, however, you're surrounded by people who are completely obsessed with basketball in the same way you are. That's a profound point about what makes elite competition so fulfilling. You're finally around people who understand your mindset, your work ethic, and your willingness to sacrifice for the game. Reeve wanted Clark to enjoy being with like-minded players and soak in the experience. Reeve's verdict: Clark looked good on both ends of the floor and hadn't missed a beat. That "both ends" comment is significant. There's been criticism of Clark's defense throughout her career. Some of it is fair, some exaggerated, and much of it is just people grasping for flaws in a player who's dominant in every other aspect. Having the Team USA head coach specifically note that Clark looked good on both ends provides important context. Reeve isn't going to sugarcoat things. If Clark's defense was a concern, she wouldn't have volunteered that comment. The defensive criticism of Clark is interesting because it's become the one thing people focus on when trying to find flaws in her game. First, it was turnovers, but her assist-to-turnover ratio improved, and that criticism faded. Then it became defense. Defense is subjective and harder to quantify, so people can always claim it's not good enough regardless of evidence. This isn't to say Clark's defense is perfect or that there aren't areas to improve. Every player has weaknesses, but the disproportionate focus on her defense compared to other offensive superstars reveals more about the scrutiny she faces than about her actual defensive abilities. Sue Bird, one of the greatest point guards in basketball history, also weighed in on what she saw from Clark. Bird's perspective carries enormous weight given her experience at every level of basketball and her understanding of what it takes to succeed internationally. Bird thought Clark looked great, a high compliment from someone of her stature. She emphasized that this is a player who hadn't played much competitive basketball in over a year, and for that to be her first day back and look that good is impressive. Bird identified two challenges Clark would face: conditioning and rhythm. It's really hard to get in basketball shape without actually playing basketball. You can work out, do conditioning drills, or play pickup games, but nothing replicates the demands of competitive basketball. The verdict from everyone involved is clear. Caitlin Clark is all the way back. The months away from basketball didn't diminish her abilities. Her signature shot is still pure. Her vision and passing remain elite. Her speed and athleticism are returning, and her mental focus is sharp. All the elements that make her special are intact. What this means for Team USA moving forward is significant. They have a player who can score from anywhere on the court, create offense for teammates with her passing, and handle the pressure of international competition. Clark proved during her college career that she can perform on the biggest stages, and now she's bringing those abilities to represent her country. The March Games, when Team USA competes in qualifying matches, will be the next opportunity to see Clark in action. The curiosity around her specifically may be less intense by then, but the expectations will remain high. She'll be judged not just on individual performance, but on how she fits within the team concept and elevates the players around her. For now, the takeaway is simple. Caitlin Clark's return to basketball at Team USA camp was everything people hoped it would be. Every credible observer reached the same conclusion. She's back, she's healthy, and she's ready for the next challenge. The consistency in how everyone evaluated Clark says everything. From Sabrina Ionescu to Sue Bird to Coach Cheryl Reeve, they all saw the same thing. Clark looked like herself and hadn't missed a beat. The signature shot, the vision, the speed, everything that makes her special, is still there. She's ready for international basketball. Do you think Clark will dominate at the FIBA level? Comment below. Like and subscribe for more Team USA updates and analysis.